that could meet together. So by Sunday, March 15th, we had to stream our first service, which was new for us. You know, we had no idea how to stream or do any of that stuff. But, you know, I think the first limitation was 150 or less for that first week in St. Louis. So we did a service and we had less than 100 people at church, and we made it through that first Sunday. March 20th, Hazel, who's 21, came home from college. And on March 22nd, we were ordered to shelter in place. And I have a mother who lives in a senior building, and I was told that I couldn't visit her anymore. So that was really sad for me, and, you know, produced anxiety, because I'm like, how is she gonna get her medicine and all this stuff? So anyway, March 23rd, school, you know, we did virtual learning, and the kids had to go back to school, so we had to homeschool. The girls are in 5th grade, you know, Layla's 11, the twins, they're in 3rd grade, separate 3rd grade classes. And all the teachers had different platforms they were using to teach the kids, with various links to get to homework assignments. And we had one computer at home. And needless to say, I was very overwhelmed and stressed out, as well as a packet that was put out by the district for the kids to do. And I'm like, what are they supposed to do? And so anyway, I was really overwhelmed the first week. So we just decided we're gonna stick with the packet. The second week, the teachers were ordered to only do the packet. I guess they got overwhelmed by all the parents. So the second week, do the packets, don't use all these various platforms the teachers were using. The third week, my husband stepped in and said, okay, listen, we're gonna come up with a whole new schedule. And so we came up with the Hawkins schedule, and you know, we had our platform, the Hawkins platform, and that's what we have focused on this week. But the teachers, they were restricted from using all the things that they were using, and we're giving a new platform to use, and that's being launched this next week, next Monday. So hopefully, prayerfully, that will all go well. They're getting iPads for the kids, so all the kids can do their homework. And that's just our personal lives. That's not even the church and the challenges of, you know, just trying to stay connected with over 300 people in our own church family. So anyway, you know, it's been a process, and we're still learning and growing through it all. We take it day by day. Hopefully we're getting better as each day, you know, as each day comes, but that's a little bit about our experience so far.
You know, for me, you know, the challenge is always to stay humble. And so 1 Peter 5, verse 6 and following have been sort of kind of my prayer and my theme passage. And it's humble yourself, therefore, under God's mighty hand, remembering that God is in charge of all of this, and that he may lift you up in due time, or lift us out of shelter in place in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. And that's sort of been the theme I've been trying to communicate to our church, is that God cares for you. God cares about humanity. God cares about people. God cares about us during this time. Our anxieties are appropriately placed on him. He cares deeply. And, you know, it's difficult because we're seeing the whole world go through this, but just to constantly be reminding ourselves that God cares. God does care. Be self-controlled and alert. Even during a pandemic, your enemy, the devil, is roaming around, roaring around, looking for someone to devour. But we got to resist him. We got to stand firm in the faith, because literally we know our brothers and sisters all around the world are dealing with this. And although this passage is talking about persecution, I think we can apply it here to the pandemic, that we have brothers and sisters around the world going through the same kind of sufferings. And so, and then in time, the God of all grace, who calls you to his eternal glory, where you've suffered a little while, and he will, lead you out. He'll make you strong, firm, steadfast, and he gets all the power and the glory. And I'm just reminded that, God, part of his training process sometimes is suffering. Mm-hmm. And going through some things is helpful for our maturing and our maturation and our training. And so, but I got to stay humble. Humility is tough. There's been, I don't know, maybe one or two times when I've thought, now, why are they doing that? Now, why don't we have more ventilators? Why aren't there more masks? And why is this? And why is that? And why are we doing it? I mean, I'm just constantly, I know better. And I tell you, turn on the news and everyone knows better. Mm-hmm. And so, just being humble, realizing that God's mighty hand, God's got it under control. Quit criticizing my neighbors, the people that are not 6 feet apart, the people that are dodging me on the street because they want to stay 6 feet, everything else. So that's just sort of personally what we're going through. And so what we want to do now is take you through really some things that have been helping us. This is our family, our 4 girls. You guys, did that switch for you? It didn't switch for me. All right, so. Sorry.
We're learning.
It's coming together. One more time here. I want to go through this. All righty, so. All right, here we go. Nope, that didn't work. Can you see that? Oh, okay, good. Okay, so this is a very familiar passage. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger. Do not exasperate them to the point of resentment with demands that are trivial or unreasonable or humiliating or abusive, nor by showing favoritism or indifference to any of them. But bring them up tenderly with loving kindness and discipline and instruction of the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
And this is definitely the challenge. I just heard from someone today that at least in our area, the number of child abuse cases may be going up, which would be very unfortunate if that is true, but certainly possible. And we're human, even though we're disciples, amen? And so I thought this is just a great verse to add some perspective to who we are. We found a great resource that is helping us. It is the World Health Organization. They have a public health thing on parenting, and it's very, very good. Some of it you may not agree with, but there's some excellent stuff in here, and I'll just give you a little bit of it. They actually are 6. It's a very helpful, very user-friendly website. So this is I just copied and paste this. This is one of the things you can download, but it teaches how to do one-on-one time with your kids. It gives you some ideas how to set aside time to spend with each kid. Babies, teenagers, and younger children. So there's some cool little things in here. You can click on all of these. They're not live here. But you can click on these. They're very helpful. And I'll show that website again. Little advice about how to keep it positive with the kids. It's all about your delivery, praising your children. When you catch them behaving well, we've all heard it before, catch them doing well, right? So, and then helping your teens to stay connected as well. But this is all at World Health Organization. Again, I'll give you that website again. This is a really good one. Structure it up. Create flexible but consistent daily routine for your kids. And this is really important. You know, it talks about washing your hands and hygiene, which you'd expect to get from the World Health Organization, which is really good. But, you know, modeling the kind of behavior you want out of your kid, but structure being very important. And I know we all got caught a little bit off guard, you know, we're kind of like, hey, it's just a long weekend. The kids are playing video games. And then about 4 or 5 days in, you're going, they're just playing video games all the time, you know? So, and now 10 days in, you're going, well, that's a habit. You know, I mean, that's all they're doing. So we found ourselves in the same situation. We were in a routine. We get up, hang out, they play video games. They kind of come down around 11, get breakfast, lunch, brunch, whatever. They go back up, they play video games. And then we're kind of going, hey, let's do some work. And they're going, we don't want to. So we had to kind of switch up our structure a little bit. And so I'm going to show you a structure that we created for our kids. We have little kids. So, you know, the little they are, the better. But you know, structure makes kids disciplined. Structure helps kids to feel secure. And so this is what we created for our kids. And they like it. Some of it they don't. So it's a school day. This is a weekday, Monday through Friday. You know, we get up, breakfast, quiet time with mom. This is what we did when we were in school. They get quiet time with mom. And then they have these school packets and they cover the 4 core areas here. And I'm the school teacher in the morning with them from 9 until noon, 11. And then at 11 o'clock, I do a little classroom learning time with them, which they're actually kind of getting into and starting to like a little bit more. They eat lunch, they get to go for recess because we can go out. They can go backyard, bike ride or walk with mom. 30 minutes, they come back, they got to read for 30 minutes. They do Pearson math for 30 minutes, mom. And then they got free time and, you know, we get to let them go out in the backyard. I got the basketball goal. I live in a city. I just moved from a beautiful big backyard in Columbia, Missouri to this thing in the city it's not even a backyard, but it's got a basketball hanging over the fence. I should have taken a picture of it. Brian would appreciate it. So we were out playing horse today, shooting around till the ball goes over in the neighbor's yard, you know. But, and they come in, get ready for dinner, kind of get dinner. And we're not super strict with this. The morning, actually the school day, we try to be pretty consistent. The rest of the evening is a little bit flexible. Dinner, try the family game, clean up, shower, bedtime. And we're really trying to pray. We pray with them every night, 9 o'clock. They just got done praying. We do our prayer, Raphael, with the girls. Raphael's heard my girls pray. And then we send them off to bed. And this is important, this one here down at the bottom there, this 9:30 p.m., that's mom and dad time. And so even our oldest daughter, you know, we're kind of like, you know, so, you know, because we got to stay sane through all of this. So, but I will tell you the biggest thing is they want to stay up because this is like summer. And if they don't go to bed, then you just never get any time to yourself. If you're not married, you just don't get any downtime. And that's kind of maddening. So anyway, this is me teaching with the girls.
Vince is a school teacher. He has a degree in education.
Yeah, so I pulled my map off the wall, and it's kind of neat because we know disciples from all around the world, and we just came from Indonesia, and I pulled out this, you know, this map, and I put it down, and one of my daughters go, "Oh, Indonesia, you just came from there," and I said, "Yeah, we got friends, and Hazel was here in Washington, and we got friends in Washington because we got friends all over the world, been to Siberia, EMS, Eurasia Mission." So they're very fascinated by that map, and we get to tell a lot of stories, history stories, even talk about where they want to go in the world someday. I got one daughter that just wants to go to Arkansas Yeah, I don't know. And then I got one daughter that wants to see the world. She wants to see Sweden and the Eiffel Tower. It's pretty cool, but it's a neat little time. My oldest daughter, Hazel, is home. She's an intern in the campus ministry in Columbia, Missouri. She's home, but she needs a car. And so I have a stick shift that she started learning to drive last year around Christmas.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she at one point wanted us to buy a different car, and I said, well, we have a stick shift, so that's what you can drive. So she's learned to drive. My wife and I are teaching her to drive, and even she has every day you have to drive this stick shift. So that's her learning to drive this stick shift with her.
She's learned.
Yeah, she has learned with her N95 mask right there. You'll see it there. So, but yeah, she's learned how to drive a Honda CRV. Very proud of her. She may be, well, I think she'll have, no one's going to steal that car on her campus. so it's probably safe. Anyway, that's just some structure stuff. Again, this is some other stuff, bad behavior, redirecting kids. Some of this stuff you know, but this is a great resource for you. And there is a ton of stuff here. I don't know if you can see, but all these buttons you can click on and it gives you more information. But how you could take a pause with your kids at time. And then keep calm, managing stress for you. And then talking about the COVID. And I thought this was pretty cool. I will see if I'll share this with you. Let's see if I can find it. 1 second. This is, yeah, so for example, can you guys see this? Can you see this quiz on the screen now? No? Yeah? You can't? Okay. Let me see if I can fix that. All right. Stop sharing. Let me see if I can go to this. And where? Okay. And okay, here we go. It's a cool little thing here. Can you see that now? How's that? Yeah? All right, so this is pretty neat. So, you know, this is something you can do with your kids. You know, it's like a little quiz. This all comes from that, you know, World Health Organization site. How is the corona, you know, the disease transmitted, right? All right, see if we get it right. Wrong. It's actually can touch surface, so yeah. So, but you can do this with your kids. You can do it with your kids, and you can get them all right, okay? But, what's that, Darren? So, but yeah, so, and let me share my screen here again. Okay, here we go. Pretty cool. So anyway, you could talk about, but that quiz is in here. Lot of neat stuff you can do. Again, this is the website. It's the, you know, I don't know if you need all this or not, but basically you put in www, World Health Organization, parenting is what you're looking for primarily. And so we wanted to leave you with a few things here that we feel really that we're trying to do that hopefully will help you with your home here a little bit. So I'm gonna go through those. The first is, you know, you want to read those?
Yeah, so the first one is pay more attention to scripture reading and prayer. And I realized that I need to pray every day just to make it through the day and read the Bible, and my kids need to as well. Proverbs 22 verse 6 says, train up a child in the ways they should go. And we definitely want our kids going to the Lord for encouragement and just direction, you know, as far as how we need to be every day. So that's been really helpful. Number two, establish and maintain family traditions that help build happy memories.
We have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring.
Right.
And so I think taking advantage of today, trying to create happy memories in the midst of all of this. And I realize our circumstances are not ideal, but we still are dealing with this in a first world. And we're pretty blessed in that regard. So, but many in the world are dealing with it.
Yeah, one of the memories, one of the things we decided to do to build a great memory is to create an angel garden. And they call them fairy gardens here in St. Louis, but we decided to call it an angel garden. And the girls love it, like just to start from nothing to this beautiful garden, hopefully, when we're all done, I think would be a very happy memory for them.
It won't be any false idols no idols we're going to worship. We're not gonna, so.
No. So number three is maintain household discipline with reasonable expectations.
Yeah, a child left, Proverbs 29:15, a child left undisciplined is a disgrace. And so I think reasonable expectations, but discipline is necessary. And so there has to be some order. You're home with your kids, and maybe consider if they're driving you crazy, which they may very well be, maybe you just need a little more organization and structure to their life or to your day. And, my heart goes out to you. If you have only one kid, I know it's tough. I mean, we have 3 girls. They're right around the same age. We have an older one. And so they're kind of, when you got 3 kids about the same age, you can send them in a room until somebody starts screaming, you know what I mean? Then you got to go in. You got one kid, you're kind of like, you're that kid's playmate. You got to stay busy. So I can't say that I know exactly what that's like. Hazel was an only kid for a long time, but not in the middle of a pandemic. So
I think another thing that's really important, I know we probably have single moms on the phone and people in different situations. We get to work from home. We have a very flexible schedule. But I think that what's really helpful is when it's your kids' time, be present. Don't be distracted. Like, don't be on the phone or trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone or 3 birds or what have you, but be present. And even if you only have an hour or 2 hours, however much time you have, I think if our kids know that they will have our undivided attention during that time, then they'll do a lot better when we have to do other things. So I really want to encourage the parents with that.
That one-on-one, that very intentional time, and letting them know, hey, this is our time. So they know we're getting this time, and it's like built into the day. And, hopefully all of your bosses are being gracious and understanding. Like, dude, I got my kid at home, so.
Number 4 is express unconditional love to one another through words and actions.
Proverbs 10:12 said, love covers all wrongs. And there's a lot of mistakes that are going to be made. There's a lot of time together in these moments. I know you had the marriage thing last week, but man, a household where, hey girls, mistakes are going to get made. Let's love each other. And sometimes, how can you say that better to your sister? What could you have said differently? But coaching them through the actions is very helpful.
And I think that this is where one-on-one time is really important. I think taking that time, just even however much time it is, if it's 30 minutes, an hour, to spend with each child. So how you doing? How you feeling? It's a great time to connect and understand where they are, where their hearts are, and just how they're dealing with everything. I know, Layla had a meltdown last week, and she's just like, I'm going crazy. I got to get out of this house. And I said, well, let's just go for a bike ride. And we went for a bike ride and just spent some one-on-one time. We got back home, and she felt so much better. So I think building in that time as well is really important.
Yeah. The other thing is respect, maintaining respect for one another and the household. If your kids have chores, great, but teaching them how to respect the house as well as one another. We're going to clean. Obviously, there's probably going to be a lot more clean basements and a lot more lawns manicured with all the time we've got. But these are great times to get your kids to help,
some life skills.
Teach them some life skills. One of my daughters did the laundry.
They all know how to do the laundry now.
Yeah, so this is good, but they need life skills. The boys, I mean, there's a lot to do around the house, apartment, or wherever you live.
And cook. Let them cook. Like they can cook grilled cheese sandwiches and different things like that. So
yeah, it's been great. My oldest daughter Hazel's home. She made the meal for the girls tonight. And we didn't even ask her to do it. We're very impressed.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Number 6, reaching out to friends. Very, very important. I think last week you guys talked about, giving your spouse a little bit break. If you're married, have some friends to call. Well, this is just good for you. I think it's a good time for us. Proverbs 17:7 said, a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for adversity. And I think that trying to do this all by yourself, these are adverse times. It's not going to help anyone, not going to help your kids. You need to be able to sometimes say to your kids, hey, you know what? I was on the phone getting some input from such and such. You know what? I didn't handle that well. Or I got some input from this person and I was getting open about my life, but man, reach out to friends, get input, talk about how you're doing and how your kids are doing. And honestly, sometimes, obviously your kids are all reaching out, but sometimes maybe it's helpful to let your kids talk to your friends as well. Hopefully you've got friends that are like aunts and uncles and big brothers and older, to your kids. You can just jump on the phone with them and say, hey, how you doing? And your kids will just go, Mom, they're driving me crazy over here. It's helpful, for them to have that potentially.
I think it's cool having Hazel home because, the campus students, they are so social media savvy and they play games and they do all this cool stuff. And the girls see Hazel doing this. And so they do it with their school friends. Like they'll have a scavenger hunt or they'll play different games with their friends. And I'm really grateful that she's here so that they can imitate that in her. But I think encouraging our kids to be giving in that way is really good as well with their school friends and church friends. So,
and the last thing here is obviously we got to stay thankful. I said earlier, we're doing this in the first world. I know our numbers, look like we got more than anyone else in the world, and I don't know how accurate that actually is. I think it's accurate that we have these numbers, but maybe not everyone else has been as forthcoming as we have been, but whatever, we do have a number of cases, but we still got to be thankful. And we got to count our blessings and whatever they are. I'm grateful that the stores are not running out of food. This is just a miracle. It just keeps replenishing. I just keep going back and going, we obviously have a lot of food, access to a lot of food in this country. And I tell you, I've got more food here than I'll be able to eat in the next 6 weeks. I just keep piling it in and piling in,
He goes to the store every week and he says, okay, this is it. And then he goes the next week, okay, this is it.
We're not going to be hungry. But we are going to be, I am going to be fat. So that's going to be another problem. But anyway, so that's what we wanted to share with you guys. Just some things here. And with that, I'm going to open it up for some questions, corrections, or thoughts.
Yeah,